Most people don't realize it, but some narcissists don't just dislike you, they want to watch you completely destroyed. And no, this isn't paranoia. It's a calculated emotional campaign that can leave you drained and devastated if you don't see it coming. Because here's the thing, there are hidden patterns, secret signs that reveal their true intentions long before they strike. Recognizing these signs isn't just about awareness, it's about protecting yourself and reclaiming control over your life. If you see these signs in your life, pause this video right now. Make a list of the patterns, identify the boundaries you need to enforce, and start taking action to protect your emotional and mental health. Awareness is your first line of defense. If you see these signs in your life, pause this video right now. Make a list of the patterns, identify the boundaries you need to enforce, and start taking action to protect your emotional and mental health. Awareness is your first line of defense. If you see these signs in your life, pause this video right now. Make a list of the patterns, identify the boundaries you need to enforce, and start taking action to protect your emotional and mental health. Awareness is your first line of defense, recognizing intense, persistent hatred, and it's one of the clearest warning signs that a narcissist may want to emotionally or socially destroy you. Unlike normal conflict or disagreements, this type of hatred is personal, obsessive, and long-lasting. It goes beyond temporary frustration or annoyance. It's a focused energy aimed at undermining you in every possible way. Narcissists with this level of animosity often fixate on perceived slights, real or imagined, and replay them constantly, using them to justify their negative actions. This hatred is rarely expressed openly all at once. It's often subtle, hidden behind sarcasm, passive aggression, or manipulation. But it's persistent, appearing in repeated attacks, critiques, or undermining behaviors. Recognizing it early is critical because it signals that their intentions go beyond simple conflict and into targeted emotional harm. The more you engage or react, the more they feed off your responses, which reinforces their obsession and desire to control or hurt you. Awareness of this hatred allows you to take proactive steps to protect yourself, set boundaries, and disengage strategically. Understanding that this is not about you personally, but about their need for control and validation helps you maintain clarity, self-respect, and the ability to respond effectively without being drawn into their destructive patterns. Consistent sabotage, and it reveals how a narcissist can actively work to undermine your success, relationships, or reputation over time. This isn't accidental or occasional behavior, it's a deliberate pattern designed to keep you destabilized and prevent you from feeling secure or accomplished. Narcissists thrive when they feel superior or in control, so whenever you achieve something, experience happiness, or build connections, they may subtly or sometimes overtly interfere. This can show up as spreading rumors, giving bad advice, creating obstacles, or manipulating others against you. The key to understanding this behavior is recognizing the repetition and intent behind it. One minor incident might be brushed off, but when it becomes a pattern, it signals a targeted effort to disrupt your life. Consistent sabotage is also emotionally exhausting because it erodes your confidence and makes you question yourself, which strengthens the narcissist's control. By identifying this pattern, you can start taking measures to protect yourself, such as setting firm boundaries, documenting incidents, and reducing opportunities for them to interfere. Awareness transforms your response from reactive to strategic, making it harder for them to continue their manipulative attacks. Recognizing consistent sabotage is critical because it is a deliberate expression of their desire to dominate and destabilize you, and early detection is your first defense. Spreading lies and smears, and it is a key tactic narcissists use to isolate and attack you without directly confronting you. Unlike ordinary disagreements or misunderstandings, this behavior is calculated and persistent, designed to damage your reputation and make others question your character. Narcissists often twist facts, exaggerate situations, or fabricate stories entirely to make themselves appear justified while making you look unreasonable, unstable, or untrustworthy. The goal is to control the narrative and manipulate the perception of everyone around you so that you become socially or professionally vulnerable. This tactic also feeds their sense of power, because watching others doubt or distance themselves from you validates their control and dominance. It can be subtle, like spreading rumors behind your back, or more overt, like public accusations or online attacks. Recognizing this behavior early is essential because once a smear campaign gains momentum, it becomes much harder to contain or repair. By staying aware, documenting incidents, and limiting opportunities for them to manipulate others, you protect your credibility and emotional well-being. Understanding that this is a deliberate strategy rather than a random act helps you respond strategically instead of reacting emotionally, reducing the narcissist's power to harm and isolating the patterns behind their destructive actions. Excessive jealousy or resentment, and it's a clear sign that a narcissist harbors deep-seated hostility toward you. Unlike normal envy, which is occasional and fleeting, this behavior is persistent and targeted, often focused on your achievements, happiness, or relationships. Narcissists cannot tolerate seeing others succeed or experience joy because it threatens their fragile sense of superiority and control. They may constantly belittle your accomplishments, dismiss your successes, or make cutting remarks designed to make you doubt yourself. This resentment often fuels other harmful behaviors like sabotage, gossip, or manipulation because they feel justified in undermining you to protect their ego. The key to recognizing this sign is noticing a consistent pattern of undermining or criticizing anything that reflects positively on you, especially when it triggers an emotional reaction in them. Understanding this behavior helps you detach emotionally, maintain perspective, and set boundaries to protect yourself. By acknowledging that their jealousy or resentment is about their own insecurities and not your worth, you prevent being drawn into their destructive cycle. Awareness of this pattern is essential because it allows you to anticipate attacks, respond strategically, and avoid giving them the satisfaction of controlling your emotions or diminishing your confidence. Recognizing excessive jealousy and resentment is about safeguarding your emotional and social well-being against someone who thrives on your perceived vulnerability. Calculated emotional attacks, and it highlights how a narcissist deliberately targets your vulnerabilities to cause maximum distress. Unlike ordinary conflict, these attacks are strategic and recurring, aimed at exploiting your insecurities, past traumas, or fears. They may use insults, manipulation, or gaslighting in a way that feels personal, precise, and designed to provoke emotional reactions. The goal is not simply to argue or win a disagreement, but to destabilize you, erode your confidence, and reinforce their sense of control. These attacks are often repeated in patterns, which makes it harder to recover because you start anticipating them, creating anxiety and self-doubt. Recognizing calculated emotional attacks is crucial because it allows you to detach emotionally and respond with awareness rather than instinctive reaction. Once you understand that the attacks are about their need for power, not your worth, you can implement boundaries, avoid triggering responses, and protect your emotional energy. By identifying this pattern early, you also prevent the narcissist from isolating you or manipulating your relationships, which is often part of their broader strategy. Awareness gives you the ability to see through the tactics, maintain your composure, and reduce their influence over your emotional state, ultimately minimizing the damage they aim to inflict and reclaiming control over your peace of mind. The narcissist's enjoyment of your struggles, and it reveals a level of emotional cruelty that is both calculated and consistent. Unlike ordinary disagreements or conflicts, a narcissist doesn't simply react to your challenges, they take pleasure in them. Every time you stumble, face difficulties, or feel emotional pain, they may respond with subtle gloating, sarcasm, or dismissive remarks that emphasize your failure. This behavior isn't accidental. It is deliberate and reinforces their sense of superiority and control. They thrive on seeing you destabilized because it validates their power and dominance, feeding their ego while undermining your confidence. Recognizing this pattern is essential because it allows you to separate your self-worth from their reactions. When you understand that their satisfaction comes from controlling and diminishing your emotional state, you can stop giving them the fuel they seek. Awareness enables you to protect yourself, set boundaries, and respond strategically instead of emotionally, reducing the impact of their cruelty. By noticing their enjoyment of your struggles, you gain insight into their true intentions and can take steps to safeguard your mental and emotional health. This understanding transforms your approach from reactive to proactive, ensuring that their attempts to harm or destabilize you are less effective, and giving you the clarity and strength to maintain your peace in the face of their manipulation. Extreme control tactics, and it highlights how a narcissist often attempts to dominate every aspect of your life. Unlike normal influence or persuasion in relationships, these tactics are manipulative, consistent, and designed to erode your autonomy. They may monitor your actions, dictate choices, interfere with personal relationships, or create situations where you feel trapped or powerless. The purpose is not mutual benefit or concern, but to maintain their sense of superiority and absolute control. Recognizing these tactics is critical because they are often subtle at first, gradually escalating over time until you feel emotionally exhausted or dependent on their approval. Narcissists use control to isolate you, making it easier to manipulate your decisions and responses, which increases their power and diminishes your confidence. Awareness allows you to identify the boundaries they are crossing and implement firm limits to reclaim your independence. By understanding their pattern of control, you can anticipate manipulations, protect your decisions, and assert authority over your own life. This is not about confrontation alone, but about maintaining emotional and practical sovereignty. Recognizing extreme control tactics gives you the clarity to act strategically, remove yourself from harmful situations when necessary, and prevent the narcissist from gaining the influence they crave, safeguarding your freedom, peace of mind, and personal power. Persistent boundary violations, and it shows how a narcissist repeatedly refuses to respect your limits in order to dominate or destabilize you. Unlike occasional lapses that happen in normal relationships, these violations are deliberate, frequent, and often escalating. They may ignore your requests, intrude into your personal life, manipulate situations to bypass rules you set, or pressure you emotionally to get their way. This consistent disregard communicates that your boundaries don't matter, which can lead to frustration, anxiety, and a sense of helplessness if left unchecked. Recognizing persistent boundary violations is crucial because it signals that the narcissist prioritizes control over your well-being. Awareness allows you to enforce boundaries clearly and consistently, communicate consequences for violations, and reduce opportunities for manipulation. By standing firm, you shift the power dynamic and make it more difficult for the narcissist to continue their pattern of control. Understanding this behavior also helps you protect your emotional health, maintain autonomy, and prevent the erosion of self-respect. Persistent boundary violations are not just minor annoyances. They are part of a calculated strategy to dominate, isolate, or emotionally harm you. Recognizing and responding strategically to these patterns ensures that you reclaim control over your life, reinforce your limits, and reduce the narcissist's ability to inflict further damage. Dealing with a narcissist who exhibits these behaviors is not just challenging, it can be dangerous to your emotional and mental well-being if left unchecked. The signs of intense hatred, consistent sabotage, lies, excessive jealousy, calculated emotional attacks, enjoyment of your struggles, extreme control, and persistent boundary violations are all part of a pattern designed to destabilize, manipulate, and dominate. Recognizing these behaviors early is critical because awareness is the first step toward protecting yourself. Once you understand the patterns, you can detach emotionally, set firm boundaries, and respond strategically rather than reactively. This isn't about confrontation for the sake of conflict. It's about reclaiming your power and taking control of your life. By observing these signs without judgment, documenting patterns, and enforcing limits, you reduce their ability to harm or influence you. Understanding that their actions are driven by ego, insecurity, and a need for control rather than your worth allows you to maintain perspective and avoid falling into their traps. The ultimate goal is self-preservation, safeguarding your mental, emotional, and social well-being while minimizing exposure to their manipulative tactics. Awareness, strategic response, and firm boundaries shift the dynamic from one where you are vulnerable to one where you are empowered. By learning to spot these 6 secret signs and responding thoughtfully, you not only protect yourself but also reclaim your peace, confidence, and independence, ensuring that their attempts to control or destroy you are rendered ineffective. Recognizing these behaviors equips you with the tools to survive, thrive, and maintain your dignity in the face of calculated narcissistic harm.